All right, this is Cedric's roadmap to success. And what the Guardians called us in about was to help Cedric kind of gain confidence because he had been in a rescue situation. We don't know his entire early life history, but it's pretty clear that he had some trauma and some just early life stress. So what we really wanted to focus on with him is not only building his confidence, but building a really strong relationship between Cedric and his guardians. And he's currently more attached to his female guardian than his male, which isn't completely atypical for dogs that have gone through early life stress periods, because they tend to overall find women to be a little less confrontational, threatening inherently. So that's not abnormal at all, but we want to change that and make sure that he's becoming a great family dog and he's building confidence with himself and being in his new home. He's only been here for about 8 weeks, and he's building relationships with all of the family members and not just one. So some of the ways that we're going to go about this is first just kind of saying what's at the core of what really matters here. And the first thing that really matters is getting that relationship with the family really strong and his confidence to go up. Other things are more peripheral, and we want to worry about those more after 30 days. So for the next 30 days, I want this to be like a more intense boot camp of build the core nuclear like family unit in the home. And that means at certain times, if he's going to be a little more anxious, like right first thing in the morning, if he's not in a good time, if that's not a good time to train with him, don't. Just ignore him, and not ignore him in a negative way, like make sure he has his needs, like he's getting fed and can go outside to go potty. But overall, don't try to solicit attention from him at that time. Let him do his own thing, give him his space, and let him be the one to come to you if he wants to. And then other times when he's much more comfortable and it's a good time to kind of work with him, do active training with him. So refer to the video above this one. You have him start to kind of have a treat in your hand and push, let him push his like nose into your hand to like encourage that confidence and the trust between the two of you. So you're giving him positive rewards, and you're also going to parlay that into actually more obedience training later on, and also doing some of that off-leash, loose-leash walking that we talked about, and kind of like putting music on and backing up and asking him to sit and giving him treats for kind of following you around and making this kind of a fun game. So those are things to work up to. But the first thing that you want to be doing is just focusing on getting him to start to be more confident in approaching you, and then making that a positive experience by rewarding him with treats. Remember, if he does regress, that's okay. Just drop below where he is. So that might mean he's starting to get a little more nervous. Walk by him, toss a treat on the floor, and then keep on walking and ignore him otherwise. So he starts thinking, oh, when this person walks by, they're pretty cool. I'm going to start looking forward to them walking by. And it piques his interest. And again, when you're not actively working with him on training and you don't have treats on you, ignore him more so he actually gets to initiate contact. I want him to start to look for attention from his guardians instead of the other way around. That way he's starting to go, every time I have been around them recently, they're giving me yummy food, so I'm going to start coming over to look for more attention. And I think that you'll see he's much more quick and apt to come over looking for affection on his own. And then also if he says, like say he comes over and he's just smelling your pant legs, just let him go ahead and do that without petting him at first, and that will build that trust up. And I think, again, you'll start seeing him seeking attention from you faster and faster over the next 30 days. So those are the main things I want you to focus on. Now, once we go, the other one little part is if at night his male guardian can start to hand feed him food, I think that'll go a long way. That will definitely be building up the relationship between the two of them. And remember to use treats and just make it a really positive experience. If he doesn't eat all of the food, that's okay. But even if you're giving him a little bit each night, it's just going to really build that relationship up. Hey, good boy, Cedric. And as a good reminder now that he was here, try to pet him under his chin as much as possible. It helps facilitate him to feel good about himself. And petting him on top of the head can kind of put him in that kind of submissive position. So we want to be petting him under the chin as much as possible. After 30 days, and you've really been building up that relationship, you can use a lot of the same techniques that we talked about with the grandkids and other people who are coming over. Have them toss some treats, have them not like look at him or pet him right away, so he builds up that trust and that relationship. And also encourage the grandkids to maybe pet him in between the shoulder blades. And that way they're starting to pet him in a place that's very comfortable. They're less likely to make a lot of eye contact with him, which will all help facilitate and make their relationship stronger and stronger. Once you're kind of building that trust up, that's the time that you can start really working on more obedience training and other fun things. As much as you can, try to have fun with him. Look up fun tricks, maybe even online, something that makes you have a good time with him, so you're enjoying the experience and it's not always just taking that patience and really working slowly over the next couple of days. Find ways to have a good time with him. That'll be super important. And also remember, if you or him are having a bad day, it's better to take a day off from working with him and just kind of let things be settled, versus trying to push something on a day that's going to be kind of hard for you or the dog. So again, just reinforcing it's okay to have days where you kind of take the day off. That's better than overdoing something. And then remember to be petting with a purpose. So every time you pet him, you're rewarding his behavior. So if he's anxious or starting to pace around the house, you don't want to pet him in those moments. But if he comes over and he's sitting next to you, definitely want to pet him for that. Reward that really good behavior. All right, last, I want to remind you that everything you do trains your dog, only sometimes you mean it.